Bladesmiths, this is the strength and durability test. I will test your knife by delivering 4 chops to get through these 3 coconuts. I want to make sure that the knife doesn't come apart and the edge will retain its sharpness. Justin, you're up first.
Yes.
Justin, you almost did no shaping on this handle, so it makes the knife a lot more difficult to hang on to. I nearly missed the coconut because of it. However, I don't feel any chips or nicks, still feels sharp. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Kelly, you ready?
I'm ready.
Kelly, your handle, the cross section, is a little thicker in the back, tapering towards the front, which makes for really good grip. Overall, it cut well. I mean, I blazed through those coconuts pretty easy. Will? Will, I can see the tang right here through this epoxy, and there's only about 2 inches of this in the handle, so it's throwing off my accuracy because there's nothing to counterbalance the blade. Now, fortunately, it is still together. It didn't come off. There's no damage to your edge. We cut through the coconuts. It made it. Next up is the sharpness test. We're gonna turn it over to Doug for that.
To see if your blade's edge is sharp, I will slice across these rubber water bladders. Justin, you're up.
I have no idea what to expect. I've gotten through the coconut chop, but I have no idea how this will perform.
Your blade has good balance. It feels good. But in this sharpness test, it's not about chopping or using velocity. It's about slicing to test the edge. And in this particular case, it did not cut. Kelly, you're up next. You ready?
Sure. I think it's sharp enough to cut through, but I'm not positive because I have never cut through a water bladder.
Well, I like the balance of your blade. I like the way it feels in the hand. But when it came to the idea of slicing, it did lacerate. It just didn't slice all the way through. Will, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Will, your blade is light, but the handle, a little small. It likes to move around in my hand. But when I slice across the bladder, you can see a line right here, so it did lacerate, but it did not cut through.
I think it'll be a pretty tough decision for the judges. I feel like I'm pretty much equal with my other bladesmiths, and I feel like I have a pretty good chance of being able to go through.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made their final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Will, your blade did not make the cut.
Will, I really liked where you were going with your blade when you started out, but you made a handle that was basically held together with nothing but glue, and I know that you noticed where you had ground through into that center epoxy. You didn't do anything to address those problems. That's why we've got to let you go.
No, I understand.
Will, please surrender your weapon.
I agree with their decision 100%. You know, being young ain't exactly an excuse to not do as well, but I definitely learned a lot, not just from the others, but a lot about myself. I love my craft, and I'll continue to do it. I'm going back to my hometown with my head held high because I'll be the most famous person there.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Another fan favorite, the log chop. And what I'm gonna do is take each of your blades and perform 10 strikes on this chunk of wood. This is going to test the strength of your edge and the overall construction of your knife itself. Rich, you're up first. You ready?
I am.
Let's have some fun.
I intentionally made my knife heavy so it would get through the chopping test well.
Bad 1 3/8 there.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Just did very well cutting into that log. The one thing, that handle was very uncomfortable. It was really putting pressure on my fingers there trying to hold on to it. But cut very well. The edge is still razor sharp. It's nicely done.
Thank you.
Kelly, you're up next. You ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna get.
Good enough then. Made it down about 1 1/4 inches, Kelly. Nice. Your edge held up great. It's nice and sharp. Right now, I feel like I'm in the battle of the giant handles, though. It's very rounded. So those last few strikes, I was trying not to have the blade twist in my hand. But your edge held up, so good job.
Thanks.
What do you think, Dave? You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Went down 1.5 inches. Good job.
Thank you.
Cut very well. It was actually very comfortable in the hand. No rollovers, no shiny spots. Very nice job.
Thank you.
Now I'm gonna pass you off to Doug for the sharpness test.
To test your blade's sharpness, I will cut through the ham 3 times. If it's held its edge and is sharp, it should cut cleanly. Rich, you're up first. You ready?
I am.
Well, Rich, the grip, well, it's a little bit big and blocky. The weight of the weapon is a little bit heavy, but then again, it cuts cleanly without even having to use power. It's a very sharp edge right there. This, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Kelly, you're next. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. Well, Kelly, it glided nicely and sliced across the meat. The issue I have here is a little bit on your handle. The area that you have your bolsters on, it really digs into my finger. Overall, though, it's got a nice feel to it, and it is sharp. This will cut. Dave, you're up next. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, Dave, balance on this blade, though. It is light and fast, and as you can see, it lacerates clearly. Your handle construction is smooth. It feels good in the hand. But your decorated piece over here, if you were a left-handed practitioner, it could be a little bit of an issue for that. Overall, it will cut. Good job.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, your weapons have been tested and the judges have evaluated your work. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Kelly, your blade did not make the cut.
Kelly, you did a great job on your blade, but the real problem was those bolsters. The bottoms were so sharp that if I hadn't been wearing a glove, it would have really cut into my hand. And if a handle's gonna hurt the user, then it's not really a functional weapon.
Kelly, you have to surrender your weapon and leave the forge.
Thank you, Dave.
To be up against the clock and to put on a handle that I'm happy with is clearly not my strong suit. But I got to compete with some really great guys. And see that time clock again.